The silent signal that changed everything. A true story of courage, unexpected heroes, and second chances. The rain tapped softly against the window of the roadside diner, a quiet rhythm against the hum of coffee machines and low chatter. Inside, tucked into a corner booth with her 4-year-old son Noah coloring quietly beside her, sat Emily Carter. Her hands trembled slightly as she stirred sugar into a cup she didn't really want. Her eyes, once bright with dreams of painting and raising her boy in a home full of laughter, now carried the weight of exhaustion, fear, and silent pleading. Emily hadn't spoken a word of her pain to anyone, not her coworkers, not her neighbors, not even her own mother, who lived 3 states away. Derek, the man she once believed would protect her, had become her prison. His words were sharp, his hands harder. Every day was survival. But today was different. Today, she couldn't breathe. As Noah reached for a fry, Emily glanced up and caught the eyes of 2 men at the counter. Leather vests, tattoos peeking from under sleeves, weathered faces that spoke of miles traveled and battles fought. Hell's Angels. Her stomach tightened. She'd heard stories, dark rumors about men like them, but in that moment, all she saw was humanity. And so, with a breath that felt like her last, she did something she'd seen on a safety poster months ago. She raised her hand, palm facing outward, then tucked her thumb into her palm and folded her fingers over it. A silent, universal distress signal. She didn't look up again. She couldn't, but someone did see. Mason Ryder, a former Marine turned Hell's Angels brother, locked eyes with his road brother Colt Sanders. Without a word, they both understood. Years on the road had taught them to read people like books, and Emily's chapter screamed pain between the lines. They paid their bill, left a generous tip, and walked out, but not far. They waited in the parking lot, watching as Derek pulled up in his beat-up pickup, barking at Emily to hurry. She flinched. Noah clutched her hand tighter. Mason and Colt followed at a distance, hearts pounding not from adrenaline, but from rage wrapped in resolve. What they witnessed through the rain-streaked windows of Emily's apartment that night carved something permanent into their souls. Derek's voice, cold, cruel, echoed through thin walls. Emily's quiet sobs, Noah's frightened whimper. By dawn, Mason had already called his chapter president. By mid-morning, 20 Hell's Angels rolled into Emily's neighborhood, not to intimidate, but to shield. They stood in formation outside her door, a wall of leather and loyalty. When Derek stormed out, fists clenched and mouth spewing threats, he was met not with violence, but with truth. "You touch her again," Mason said, voice calm but unshakable, "and you answer to all of us, and the law." Because while they stood guard, Colt had already filed a full police report with photos, witness statements, and the diner's security footage Mason discreetly obtained. Derek was arrested that afternoon for domestic assault and child endangerment. But what happened next? That's where the real story begins. The Hell's Angels didn't just ride off into the sunset. They stayed. They helped Emily pack what little she owned. They connected her with a local women's shelter that provided trauma-informed counseling. One brother, a contractor, renovated a small apartment for her and Noah, free of charge. Another, whose daughter had survived abuse, became Emily's weekly coffee buddy, reminding her she wasn't alone. Slowly, the fear in Emily's eyes gave way to something else. Hope. Noah started smiling again, real smiles, the kind that crinkle the corners of a child's eyes. Emily enrolled in night classes to finish her art degree. She painted again, first small canvases of sunrises, then portraits of strong women, and eventually a mural in the community center. 20 shadowed figures on motorcycles, their hands outstretched not to take, but to give. Because sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear patches. This story isn't fiction. It's a testament to the quiet courage of survivors and the unexpected compassion that lives in the unlikeliest of places. The Hell's Angels, often misunderstood, proved that brotherhood isn't about appearances. It's about action, protection, presence. Emily and Noah are safe now, thriving even. And every year on the anniversary of that rainy diner day, a bouquet of white lilies appears on her doorstep. No note, just a single patch tucked beneath the ribbon. An angel's wing. If this story moved you, if you believe in second chances, in silent signals being heard, in kindness blooming in the hardest soil, then please do 3 things. Number 1, like this video. It tells the world this message matters. Number 2, share it with someone who needs to know they're not alone. And number 3, subscribe to ACA Story Tales, where real stories of courage, redemption, and humanity come alive. And if you're watching from the USA, Canada, the UK, Australia, or anywhere across the globe, drop a comment below. Tell us where you're from and what this story meant to you. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Because in a world that often feels cold, we're choosing to be the signal and the rescue. Together, we rise. If you felt moved by this story, your support means the world. Please consider sending a star to help us reach our first 500 and keep sharing stories that heal and inspire. Every star brings us closer to building a community rooted in kindness and second chances. Thanks for watching.